And now let's try and tune in to no good music from an undisclosed location somewhere in New Jersey. That style, playing guitar.
When that comes on, you're out on the dance floor.
Sammy still rocks, man.
Am I going to listen to this again?
And that's definitely going to be a theme.
You can't make this shit up.
No.
Oh, hello everyone. This is Rob.
And this is Matt.
Welcome to No Good Music. It's Matt and I, we sit here relaxing on the beautiful beach called Thunder Island. You know, we look into the distance and we see the Southern Cross.
Yes.
Just the two of us will take you on a sailing adventure today. That would make even Sarah smile and Jackie blue.
Yes.
Even Rosanna will be impressed with our great knowledge about Yacht Rock. And the Diamond Girl will find out what you won't do for love. We just disagree about crazy love, and even Eddie Rabbit has his suspicions. But you know what? The moonlight feels right. And it's really not the same old Lang Syne with the eye in the sky. And what the hell is that anyway?
I know.
But Somebody's Baby is still the one. There's a new frontier, and we say, sail on, sailor, through the time passages. As I go crazy with the biggest part of me. Okay, that doesn't sound right. Matt and I really miss our trips to Africa.
Yes.
You know, where the people run up to you and go, hello, it's me. They're so friendly.
Yeah.
But let me tell you one trip we took to Africa. We get off the... What the heck? What is on this island?
The heck was that?
What was that?
It was a beluga whale. Go on.
Okay. So we get off the plane and we see smoke from a distant fire, and we start reminiscing about a Dreamweaver.
Yes.
As we stand in front of the Hart Hotels. They're a great chain of hotels, you have to admit.
Yes.
Now this was in 1975, the year of the cat, and sometimes I ask Matt, how long has it... What?
It's just the monkeys.
Oh my God, someone's being attacked.
Ignore the monkeys.
Yeah.
It's just the monkeys.
I don't know. I thought it sounded like someone's being murdered or something. Okay.
It's Thunder Island, baby.
No, where was I? Oh. So on this particular night, we're in Africa. We meet up with some friends, and there's our friend Brandy.
Hey, Brandy.
And I suddenly blurt out, Brandy, you're a fine girl.
Hey, Brandy.
Now, I can't tell you why, but all I know is she's one sentimental lady. And then I can't believe it, but Matt says to her, I'm so in... Oh, we got medevac. Sorry. Okay. Wow, a lot going on in the island.
Yes.
I hope we're safe here.
Down on Thunder Island.
Yeah. So she's one sentimental lady, and I can't believe it. Matt says to her, I'm so into you, and I have these dreams.
Into you.
So I count minute by minute, thinking I'm leaving here a lonely boy. And Brandy has already had enough of us and walks away as I yell, baby, come back. I'd really love to see you tonight. Maybe dinner and a movie. So I wonder how old she is.
She was just 17.
Would you say maybe 20, maybe, hey, 19?
Yeah.
I don't know. Her friend says she gets hit on a lot since she's a rich girl.
Yeah.
But she's never fooled around and fell in love. So she says, guys, back to F off. So we do. So the next day, Matt and I, we head out to Baker Street. We're running out of money at this point, and we go in search of some dirty work. And we ride like the wind into town. As we ride in a convertible, the summer breeze blows back our long 70s hair. Yeah, we had long hair back then, you know. So we're in the convertible. We get out of the car and we approach one of the locals to get the lowdown. And he tells us the club around the corner is looking for people to perform the Lido Shuffle.
Dirty low down.
Now, we had just heard of the Lido Shuffle, so we figured we need, some quick money. He says, when you get to the club, ask for Peg. We can't tell the rest of the story because of ongoing litigation.
Are you Peg?
And if you believe this story we just told you, I believe it's probably what a fool believes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And the seagulls.
So, yes, this is our Yacht Rock podcast.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into the history of Yacht Rock.
Well, I want to define it, too. So history and defining it comes together.
Yacht Rock, originally known as West Coast Sound or adult-oriented rock.
Yeah, that's a little too clumsy, isn't it? Adult-oriented. Yeah. Hey, did you check out that adult-oriented? Yeah, well, I was doing my adult coloring books.
Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion is now adult-oriented rock. So it's a broad music style, aesthetic commonly associated with soft rock, one of the most commercially successful genres from the mid-'70s to the mid-'80s. So it draws on sources such as soul, smooth jazz, R&B, and disco. And common stylistic traits include a high-quality production, clean vocals, and a focus on light, catchy melodies.
Right, yeah.
Now, the term was coined in 2005, so not too long ago, by the makers of the online video series Yacht Rock. Which Matt and I have watched some of those.
Yeah.
Who connected the music with the popular Southern California leisure activity of boating.
Yeah.
And so it's considered a pejorative term, meaning people disapprove of the term.
Yeah.
No one wants to be labeled like...
Yacht rocker.
Like when we talked to Jim Babjack at Smithereens.
Hey, you yacht rocker!
I think he pretty much disapproves of the term 80s band.
Yeah. Hey, aren't you known as the 80s band?
Yeah, you don't want to put someone in a box.
Right.
So prominent artists that have been labeled Yacht Rock include Christopher Cross, the Doobie Brothers, Fleetwood Mac, Steely Dan, Rupert Holmes, Michael McDonald, Kenny Loggins, Toto, and Supertramp.
I got some more. Little
Okay.
River Band, Dr. Hook, Ambrosia, Jackson Browne, 10cc, Bread, America.
Barry Manilow, probably.
I don't know, maybe. And, I also noticed, emphasize the smooth, soft vocals. And what about themes? You going to talk about themes yet? Like, what are they talking about in Yacht Rock?
Yeah, we'll get to that. So the term did not exist at the same time with the music. This is what's interesting. Is that when the music came out, it wasn't labeled that, which was produced from 75 to 84. Many yacht rockers included nautical references in their lyrics, videos, and album artwork, exemplified by Christopher Cross's anthemic track Sailing from 1979.
By the way, that you mentioned that word. I'm going to try to do this entire podcast and not say the S word. I know we have an explicit rating, I am not going to say the S word.
So the song actually won a Grammy Award for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Arrangement of the Year, and helped Cross win the Best New Artist Award.
What year was that? You talk about the year.
1979.
Okay.
1980.
Wow.
It went to number 1 on Billboard 100 chart.
Wow.
Yeah.
Number 1.
I won't talk too much in case Matt has this on his top 5.
Like I said, I am not going to say the S word.
Yeah. Now, Christopher Cross has said in interviews, one more thing.
Yeah. Talk about Chris.
Okay. That it was his friendship. I think we talked about this before in this song. It might have been on a top 10.
Yeah.
But he had an older friend from high school, and we're gonna give a shout out. Don't be drinking anything when I say this guy's name. Al Glasscock.
Oh, Glasscock, get over here!
Glasscock. Okay.
He's fragile. He's a fragile man. Fragile.
Who would take him sailing as a teenager, just to get away from the trials and tribulations of being a teenager. Yeah. Now, this was a high school friend. It wasn't like a 50-year-old man.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
If they'd formed a band, it would have been Chris and Glasscock. I mean, that flows.
Yeah.
Listen, Chris and Glasscock. Oh, yeah. Did you get the new album from Chris and Glasscock?
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
Yeah.
Chris and Glass.
Chris and Glass.
Chris and Glass Big C. I don't know. So he functioned as an older brother during a tough time for Cross emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And he lost touch with Glasscock. Except, believe it or not, he was reunited in April of 1995 on the Howard Stern Show after 28 years.
Howard, bringing people together.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yep. And it was long mocked for its saccharine sincerity and garish fashion. The original stigma attached to the music has lessened since about 2015.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, we're able to do a Yacht Rock podcast. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely has lessened.
So here are the 5 things for a great rock. I was going to say cock rock. Yeah. Okay, these are the 5 things that make up a great yacht rock song.
Yes.
Okay. The word love, about love. This is more than one. New love, lost love. So we get it. Love.
Yeah,
Love.
I was thinking of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Number 2, it makes you tear up a little. Number 3. Now, did I write this? I wrote this. Okay, these are I don't know my own notes here. Lyrically satisfying, good melodies, and a good hook.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, 1970s release, preferably, I think. And number 5, escaping to another place. I got kind of this from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Visions of a better life.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that, escaping to a better place or another place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to add, too, along with that, Rob, when you talk about love, it's the love, sex, relationship theme.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are you going to stay the night? Blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm so into you. You know, like, who's singing that anymore? Like, I am so into you.
You know what I just thought of? Why is it mostly men? Think about it. There are a couple women in there.
Because in the 70s, they'd be called a slut.
I guess women could not sing about love.
Sex and relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Donna Summer, though, she made it good. She made it okay.
And there's something else I'm hearing, too. I'm really hearing in the songs, along with escaping to a different place, that ethereal music, the background and the strings, you know, flowing. There's a flowing and there's a wave, you know, back and forth with the background music.
Now, before it was called Yacht Rock, I just called it cheesy 70s music.
Yeah, I was with you. Yeah,
which I loved. I mean, I don't have too many friends who liked Barry Manilow or the Doobie Brothers, you know, bands like that. Or, I mean, I don't hate Christopher Cross. I don't like the song Sailing.
We saw him live. He played the song. He
did.
played the song 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like Arthur's theme.
Yeah.
I think, isn't that the same Between the Moon and New York City?
Yes, that's the song. Yes. Yeah.
From the movie Arthur, which I think everybody's forgotten about. I haven't seen it anywhere, or
do you know,
Dudley Moore.
Do you know, I guess I wasn't going on dates or I was too cheap or something, but I don't remember the movie. I don't remember seeing the movie, is what I'm trying to say.
I'm thinking Lily Tomlin was in it. Dudley Moore was Arthur. And
yes, Dudley Moore.
I think he was rich, but I think he was like had a child's like mentality. That's what I'm thinking. I haven't seen it in a long time.
You know, I don't remember that.
So I remember him being in a bath or a bubble bath, and he had a butler.
You know, we should get together and watch the movie Arthur.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Now, according to another Matt Collier of All Music, keep it smooth even when it grooves, with more emphasis on the melody than on the beat. Keep the emotions light even when the sentiment turns sad, as is so often in the case in the world of the sensitive yacht rocksman.
Yacht rocksman, I like that. Yeah.
Always. Oh, one
and
more.
we're going to see that,
Okay.
and we're going to see that in what we're going to talk about, our top 5. I think we have some where the topic and maybe the relationships or the topic is so intense, and yet the music's keeping it smooth and light.
Always keep it catchy, no matter how modest or deeply buried in the track list the tune happens to be. This guy did a lot of research here. The exhilaration of escape is essential to yacht, according to journalist and documentary filmmaker Katie Puckrick. She quoted the lyrics of Cross's Ride Like the Wind from '79. to make it to the border of Mexico
Yeah.
as an example of the aspirational longing that demonstrates the power of the genre.
Right. I'm going to ride like the wind.
Yeah.
I'm going to ride. It's self-empowering. Yeah.
Now, this is a term I didn't know, and it's a subgenre called dark yacht.
Oh God. No. I'm trying to think what would fall.
We're not
into-
talking about Alice Cooper.
No, are you
No.
making this up?
No.
Are you making this up
Well, I
off the
have
top of
an
your head?
example.
Yeah. I need an example.
Yeah, exemplified in Joni Mitchell's accidental yacht rock song. That's not what it's called. The Hissing of Summer Lawns from 75. I should have listened to this.
Do not know it.
Which described the tarnished love of a woman trapped in a big house and a loveless marriage.
Right. Just like that song.
So
I'm
we're
not gonna
we take
forget
it
it.
to a little bit more extreme with the sadness, I
Yes,
think.
yes.
Yeah.
The Eagles song. Isn't it an Eagles song? I just forgot it.
Take it to the limit?
No. Eyes. Sad eyes.
Oh,
Something. What's
I don't think that's Eagles.
No, what's the
Sad Eyes?
No, the woman and her lover across town. Why am I forgetting the title?
Hungry Eyes? No, that's
No, come
Eric
on.
Carmen.
Come on, you know this one. Lion eyes.
Okay, Lion Eyes.
Yeah. You can't hide those lying eyes. That's that's the
okay.
topic. Yeah. Exactly.
That might be dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, according to Mara Schwartz Kug, who worked in the LA music industry for 2 decades, soft rock was a genre of very popular pop music from the 70s and early 80s, characterized by soft, mostly acoustic guitars and slow to mid tempos. Most people generalize the term to mean anything kind of soft and 1970s-ish, including artists like Rupert Holmes. So that's what I was saying. I called it cheesy.
No, exactly what you just said. That's what we used to call it. And it was too much. It was a mouthful. And now we have Yacht Rock.
I had a whole CD I made of songs like that.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever they'd come up, that's why on Apple Music, we should get some royalties for talking about Apple Music, but it's not Apple Music. It's through, I want to say Iheart. Iheart has a station, which you don't have to have Apple or anything. I think you can go on the computer and pull up Yacht Rock Radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I listen to this at least once a week, maybe twice a week. My wife and I go grocery shopping, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whatever I'm listening to, I'll listen to new albums, but there's certain radio stations I'll put on just because it's like putting songs on shuffle. And I don't really have a Yacht Rock playlist. So, but when we come home and we're putting away the groceries, the music continues. I put the Bluetooth on, and most of the time it's Yacht Rock Radio.
The music continues from what you were listening at the grocery store.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the car.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the Yacht Rock videos.
Yes.
These are a series of videos done documentary style on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I think all you have to do is type in Yacht Rock. I don't know what you type in. Yacht Rock.
It'll come up.
Yeah, it'll come
when
up.
I did that, it came up. Yeah.
And we'll tell you who the guy is. I think you can, if you put his name in there too. Put in Hollywood Steve. He's the host.
Okay.
I think they'll come up. There's, it's sort of done in a Spinal Tap fashion. Spinal Tap's, of course, a lot better than these videos.
Documentary, but not really true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, these videos look like, I don't know if they're supposed to look old, but I think they look older than they are, because I don't think they're that old.
Yeah.
Because if they came up with the term, what do we say, 2005?
Yeah. The videos
it's still
the videos look mid 90s or
still,
something.
yeah,
They look so old.
I think it's supposed to look like it's off a like a tape.
Yeah.
Like a VHS tape. If we have any young listeners, we just went over your head with VHS. So, but those were tapes, original players, and you could watch movies.
What VHS stands for? Is it Video Home System?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they had Betamax.
Yeah.
Which I had a Betamax top loader, which was a mistake because sometimes you want to put something on top of each like component.
Yeah.
To say.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 12 episodes. Episode 1 starts with the host, Hollywood Steve, and what he calls, and I love this, I don't know if you caught this, his music nook. And I think I'm going to start calling this room we're in
a nook.
The music nook.
Yes.
He introduces videos as a history lesson to Yacht Rock. Now, the first video features they're bad actors with bad wigs and mustaches, portraying Hall & Oates, Michael McDonald, Kenny Loggins, and others. Even Jim Messina. Even
Jim makes an appearance.
Now,
that's great.
The first one starts, they're all talking about, I guess, songs they've come up with.
Yeah.
If you don't know, Kenny Loggins, who is the king of soundtrack songs, like Caddyshack,
yeah,
I'm All Right, that song. I think he had a song in Top Gun. Footloose, the song Footloose.
Right.
Kenny Loggins just wrote for soundtracks in the beginning.
If you're in the mid-50s, you know how overplayed these songs were.
Yeah. But Kenny Loggins came actually from a band that he formed with Jim Messina, and it was Loggins and Messina.
Yeah.
And I do have like 4 or 5 albums. Like I got
actually in this room.
Yeah,
you possess 4 or 5.
I think there were a bucket.
Loggins and Messina.
Yeah, and the one has them on a boat. So
of course,
I think they knew something that we didn't know back then.
Yeah, get on the boat. not up on a mountaintop, not on a cliff.
Yeah, they're sailing
on the boat.
They're sailing away to get to where I'm going or whatever. So this first video, Jim Messina is portrayed as a homeless alcoholic.
What a coincidence.
Because Kenny Loggins, he went on to I'm All Right, and he went on to make some money. And where is Jim Messina? That is the question. We will find out.
We're going to have to answer it for
and if
our
he
listeners.
is still around, I'd see an interview with Jim Messina, and we're going to get down to the bottom of this. Okay. Yeah. So Jim Messina's in an alleyway or next to, and he's asking why Kenny Loggins kicked him out of the band. And at one point he coughs up his booze or whatever he's drinking when Kenny starts singing to him.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to this will give you an intro to these videos. And he says, "Your shitty music makes me barf, Loggins." And Michael McDonald steps in and says to Kenny, "You're a sentimental fool, Kenny." And that's what a fool believes, I think Kenny says.
Mm-hmm.
And so we witness that song being born before our eyes.
It's being written there. Yes.
Because the song, That's What a Fool Believes, is Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald's song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you get the idea, kind of. Each video is only about 5 minutes long. And I'm going to tell you the ending. Not a big thing, but episode 12, I'm not going to... takes a grim turn.
Oh.
I don't know if you watched the last episode.
No, do they dock?
The Hollywood Steve, something happens to him. So that's how it ends.
Okay. Yeah, don't tell me how gruesome it is.
Yeah. It's not gruesome, but
Does he get caught between the yacht and the dock?
No, that's like that.
Right in there? No. Like right between the yacht and the dock?
Between the moon and New York City.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you have to go on YouTube and watch it. Actually, I said I have here, search Yacht Rock Episode 1. There you go. That's your start on your journey.
Yeah.
The creators are J.D. Resner, Steve Huey, Hunter Stair, and David Lyons.
Wow. Now you say Resner. I've only heard Resner one other time in my life. I'm just wondering if it's Trent's brother.
No, this is Ryznar. So I think it's spelled a little different.
Yeah. All right.
Now get this. In 2016, they invented the term knot rock.
I love it. With a K?
With an N in front of yacht. Yacht Rock, right?
I thought it was KNOT. Yeah, Yacht Rock.
Yeah. To refer to songs that have sometimes been classified as yacht rock, but they have felt did not fit the definition.
Oh, we could pull out a couple of those. Yeah.
Now they have podcasts Beyond Yacht Rock and Yacht or Not Yacht. Okay.
Yacht or Not Yacht?
Now, I looked this up. Now, the podcast Beyond Yacht Rock pretty much ended in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
But Yacht or Nyat still goes on, so you can still check it out. And you can still check out Beyond Yacht Rock.
Love it.
The old episodes.
Love it.
Now, here are the factors that the 4 list as relevant to Yacht Rocks.
Okay, so these guys here, this is their criteria.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
High production value.
Yes.
Use of elite Los Angeles-based studio musicians and producers. Jazz and R&B influences.
Mm-hmm.
Use of an electric piano. Complex and wry lyrics about heartbroken, foolish men, particularly involving the word fool. An upbeat rhythm called the doobie bounce. So they're making stuff up, you know. Now, they have argued that many artists sometimes associated with yacht rock, particularly the folk-driven soft rock of Gordon Lightfoot and the Eagles, actually fall outside the scope of the term as originally conceived.
Yeah.
And they also disputed the use of the term as an umbrella for any song whose lyrics include nautical references.
Yeah, you can't just talk about being on the yacht.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the,
So if I'm not mistaken, these are the guys that came up with the term.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah.
And were able to define it.
Yeah.
They were given the authority to define. Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
And I, as we prepared for this podcast, I questioned, what are the boundaries? What are the limits? What's the outside limit of the yacht? Where does it become yacht rock?
Yeah.
So we'll explore that as our podcast goes on here.
And I think once Beyonce listens to this podcast, she will get the idea to record a yacht rock album.
Yeah, she'll be wearing the sailor's cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like stuck to the side of a boat, like she is to a horse. So there we go.
All right.
Now, I have a little bit more.
Yeah.
Now, the roots of yacht rock can be traced to the music of the Beach Boys.
Okay.
Whose aesthetic was the first to be scavenged by acts like Rupert Holmes, according to I don't know these people. Jacobin's Dan O'Sullivan. I don't know what Jacobin is. Now, Captain Antonil.
Right.
Now, if you remember. Now, again, I mentioned on the last part about, what was it? Oh, it was the Cars, My Best French Girl. I misheard. Yes. I always thought Captain Antonil. I thought it was a person.
Yeah,
Captain Antonil.
Yeah, Captain is his rank,
and his last name is Antonil.
Antonil, yeah,
Antonil.
It could be French. Antonil.
It's just the way they said it.
Yeah, Captain Antonil. Yeah. Like, who is this Mr. Antonil? Yeah.
Now, they were members of the Beach Boys live band, which I did not know.
No.
Yeah, and they won Yacht Rock's first Best Record Grammy in 1975 for Love Will Keep Us Together.
I was singing that in my head.
Yeah.
Love will keep us together. You see the theme, Love Will Keep Us Together. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so yacht.
Now, Neil Sedaka, he wrote that. He acknowledged he was inspired in part by a Beach Boys riff for that song. Now, O'Sullivan also cites the Beach Boys recording of Sloop John B. From 1966 as the origin of yacht rock's. What are these big words? They're too big for me. Predilection. I
don't know.
For the sailors and beachgoers aesthetic that was lifted by everyone from Christopher Cross to Eric Carmen, sadly, who passed away recently. Hungry Eyes.
Yeah.
We covered him on the Footloose.
Yes.
Me and Jerry.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned Sloop John B. So I think in the Ancient Folk band I was in, our band leader, he did some songs on the side and did, I think he did that song. It might even been
That's a good song.
I know, but it might be a remake even in 66. I don't know. Just have to look into that later.
I think they wrote that.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm not sure, though.
Yeah.
So some of the most popular yacht rock acts who also collaborated on each other's records included Michael McDonald, Kenny Loggins, Steely Dan, and Toto. Now, there's been a resurgence, of course. Recent positive reappraisals of the genre have appeared in The Guardian, The Week, and on BBC 4, which broadcast Puckrick's two-part documentary, I Can Go For That, The Smooth World of Yacht Rock.
I got to see that.
So this is another documentary. There's another one.
I can go for that.
And this was June 2019. And the documentary, of course, is a play on the 1981 Hall & Oates. I Can't Go For That.
I Can Go For That.
No Can Do.
Yes. I Can Do.
Yeah. So this guy, Orlovsky, has argued that the genre's resurgence is partly due to its function as an antidote to the negativity of the post, and we don't get political, but Obama era in the U.S., just as in its original context when yacht rock created, in quotes, the perfect soundtrack for listeners trying to ignore Watergate and Vietnam.
Wow, yeah.
It now again represents the defiant, fingers planted firmly within ears disregard for any and all political unrest.
Yeah. I'm hearing it. With the fingers in my ears.
And that's probably why I turned to yacht rock like I said, a couple times a week
Yeah.
to get all this garbage out of my head. I'd rather put an album on than sit all day like some people watching
Mm-hmm.
and get a little political, CNN and Fox.
Mm-hmm. Just don't say certain words here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't want your family members and friends start to say, do you smell that? Yeah, that smells your brain starting to rot. And I won't mention names, but we know some people like that. And
Yeah. It's sad. Yeah.
now we get into, as I was gathering these notes, I remembered we did the podcast where, I'm not sure if Matt and I did it or Jeremy and I, where we did our top 10 albums of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a new band, and they were on my top 10 list. And I have here, it was 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And the band is Young Gun Silver Fox. They sound like they're from the 70s.
Wow.
And of course, it's two guys, and it is a younger guy and an older guy. Glide magazine, which I've never heard of, describes Young Gun Silver Fox's album AM Waves as having its brand of 70s SoCal infused pop rock, and compares it to the likes of other yacht rock bands such as Ambrosia and the Doobie Brothers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, they have 4 albums out so far, starting in 2015. Their last album was 2022. If you haven't never heard of them and you like yacht rock, this is new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
New
Yeah.
stuff that sounds old.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we're winding down here with the history, but there's some haters of yacht rock. In a 2012 Jacobin article, Jacobin, by the way, is a New York-based socialist magazine.
Oh.
So watch out.
Yeah.
Yacht rock was described as endlessly banal, melodic, and inoffensive, fit to be piped into Macy's changing rooms.
Mm-hmm.
The article describes the popularity of yacht rock as reflective of a regressive Reagan-era American society and about the garden of nightmares America has become. What?
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's fun music.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're talking about there. I mean, people will find fault with everything. That's
Right. I guess getting out of reality, that magazine, that news source, doesn't like people getting out of reality, I suppose.
Yeah. Yacht rock is listed as a genre on Spotify, Amazon, Pandora. Since 2015, there's also been a yacht rock channel on Sirius XM, which I don't think neither of us have.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the channel reverts to the off-season channel after summer.
Oh, wow. Keeping it summertime.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting.
And then, of course, Iheart, which we talked about, Yacht Rock Radio, 24/7. There's no DJ. It's just some guy that's probably pre-recorded. Say, we're about to set sail. It's actually pretty funny. But now there's some bands out there who cover only yacht rock. These are, of course, cover band. There's Yachtly Crew and Yacht Rock Review, which they've done national tours. Yacht Rock Review hosts an annual Yacht Rock Revival concert where they invite members of the original bands they cover to join them on stage for a few songs.
Yeah, interesting.
They've included Walter Egan, I don't know who that is, Robbie Dupree, Peter Beckett, he's with Player, Bobby Kimball, former lead singer of Toto, Jeff Carlisi, 38 Special, Bill Champlin, Chicago, Denny Lane, who unfortunately also passed away recently, of Wings. In 2018, Jawbone Press released the Yacht Rock book, The Oral History of the Soft, Smooth Sounds of the 70s and 80s, by author Greg Prato, which explored the entire history of the genre. And then bands who have been inspired by yacht rock: Vampire Weekend, Foxygen, I don't know. That's a cool name, Foxygen.
Yeah.
Carly Rae Jepsen. Yeah. So, and the 2017 album by Thundercat featured a song that included guest vocalists Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald.
Wow.
Entitled Show You the Way. All performed the song together on an episode of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon in the same year.
Yeah, I've heard of Thundercat. I just...
he opened for the Chili Peppers, but I think we got there late.
Okay.
And I don't remember seeing him.
Got to look up Thundercat now.
So the band Sugar Ray,
Yeah.
2019 album was called Little Yachty.
Ah.
I think there's a rapper called Little Yachty.
Yeah.
Is a conscious homage to Yacht Rock. Includes a cover of the 1979 Rupert Holmes song Escape, Pina Colada song.
Yes, yes.
And which lead singer Mark McGrath has called the torchbearer of all things Yacht Rock.
Yes.
So there you have it.
Well, thank you so much for that history. And, trying to find the boundaries. We're going to explore that as we talk more about our top 5. I got top 5. You got top 5 Yacht Rock songs coming up.
Yes. Next up is our top 5.
All right, so we're going to hit top 5, my top 5 and your top 5 of Yacht Rock.
Yeah.
All right.
But just a little thing before that, I wanted to mention, our intro, I don't know if you were paying attention, but there is a list of top 50 Yacht Rock songs.
Yeah.
And we incorporated all 50 into our intro. So
written by you. You get all the credit for that. Yeah.
So if you go on ultimateclassicrockagain.com, maybe you can see if play a little game, see if you can get the all 50 Yacht Rock songs that I mentioned in the intro. And we're not going through that list. I do have my top 5. I do have references to where they fell, if they did, on the top 50. So
yeah.
But I don't know if you
what you're not going to hear in my top 5 is ones that were overplayed.
Yeah.
Maybe this first one, possibly. Rob, when you and I were listening to music, we started with rock and then went to some punk and new wave, alternative, and so forth. So what we're talking about here...
I actually started with disco, but...
Okay, disco duck.
The Bee Gees. The Bee Gees.
Yeah, okay. But you have to understand that where we're coming from, because we were 13 and 14 going into some rock and roll while this stuff is playing on the radio. It's
I don't think I'm
this stuff
probably
in my hand.
more into it now than when I was younger.
All right, so I'm starting off with number 5.
Okay.
And then you're going to do 5. Starting off with Hall & Oates, Sarah Smile.
Okay.
This song's written, of course, by the duo, Daryl Hall and John Oates. This song made it all the way up to number 4. It was their first top 40 and their first top 10 hit. So this it was recorded and first appeared in August of 1975. We had people reviewing it saying, if you liked She's Gone, that's another song of theirs. Yeah. That was right before it. You'll like Sarah Smile.
Yeah, I'm not real crazy about that song.
Yeah, okay. So it definitely is smooth, like all the way. It's in the definitions of yacht rock. It was written about Daryl Hall's then girlfriend and stewardess Sarah Allen. They were together for almost 30 years, and then they broke up in 2001. Interesting. Let's see. So Jimmy Wayne, I do not know Jimmy Wayne. He appears to be a country artist from this picture. No cowboy hat, not stuck to a
side of a horse.
Not stuck to the side of the horse. He did, Jimmy Wayne, country music singer, released a cover version of this in 2009, and the backing vocals were done by Hall & Oates. So
I thought you were going to say Willie Nelson.
No, he was joined there.
Okay. So Hall & Oates is not on, I don't know if we mentioned it, but Matt and I picked what we thought would be on our top 5.
Right. So
Hall & Oates is not on what I guessed.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get to that. But after our top 5, we're going to see how many I could guess.
Oh, okay.
Of his.
We'll do that.
Yeah. I can see how many I can guess. And he's going to tell me how many he guessed, artists that I guessed. I'm not going to get into this, but the B-side of the 45 of Sarah Smile is called The Soldering Song. Now,
what?
Soldering Song. Soldering was a euphemism for sexual intercourse in the 70s.
Okay.
So come on over, we're going to do some soldering. It gives new
I never heard that.
Yeah, that gives new meaning to my degree in electronic technology.
Yeah, I thought soldering was soldering.
Because we did a lot of soldering.
Yeah.
We were doing it all the time.
The actual soldering.
Yes, the actual soldering.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Sarah Smile's my number 5.
Now, I don't know if you know, you probably don't know, but Jeremy's mother, her favorite band is Hall & Oates.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I've never met anyone whose favorite is
No.
Hall & Oates. Because we all have our favorite.
No, I don't think I ever will see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's number 5. What do you got? What do you got 5th place there?
I've got Jerry Rafferty with Baker Street. I just love this song.
Do you? That's great.
I love the
That is
corny.
great.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you wake up, it's a new morning. The sun is shining. It's a new morning. You're going home.
Yeah.
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 So this was named after Baker Street in London.
Oh, yeah?
And this was on his second solo album, City to City.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to get that album because I don't know much of Jerry Rafferty. Now, it was his first release after a resolution of legal problems surrounding the breakup of his old band, Steelers Will, which I think we've either covered or mentioned as one of the forgotten bands.
Yeah.
1975. And in the intervening 3 years, Rafferty had been unable to release any material because of disputes about the band's remaining contractual recording obligations.
Right, because I didn't hear much about him right after that hit.
Yeah.
He just...
Well, this was before after Steelers Will, he could not record.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So he wrote the song during a period when he was trying to extricate himself from his Steelers Will contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And he was regularly traveling between his Scottish family home in Paisley and London, where he recalled often staying at a friend's flat on Baker Street.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was suing each other, he said. So I spent a lot of time on the overnight train from Glasgow to London for meetings with lawyers. I knew a guy who lived in a little flat off Baker Street. We'd sit and chat or play guitar there through the night. So the resolution of Rafferty's legal and financial frustrations may have accounted for his exhilaration of the song's final verse, which I just read in the beginning. And Rafferty's daughter Martha suggested in 2012 that he could also have taken inspiration from a book he was reading while he was traveling between the two cities. And it's Colin Wilson's The Outsider from 1956, which explored ideas of alienation and creativity and a longing to be connected.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a great saxophone riff in this.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So in addition to the guitar solo, and it was played by Hugh Burns, Baker Street featured a prominent 8-bar saxophone riff by session musician Raphael Ravenscroft, played as a break between verses, and the origins are disputed.
Mm-hmm.
Ravenscroft said he was presented with a song that contained several gaps. In fact, most of what I played was an old blues riff. If you're asking me, did Jerry hand me a piece of music to play? Then no, he didn't.
Yeah. So it might be mine.
Now, in his interview with Colin, Irwin Rafferty disputed this. I always love this stuff. And said that Ravenscroft had been his second choice to play the saxophone. Second choice, right?
Yeah.
There's a dig.
You were my first choice anyway.
After Pete Zorn, who was unavailable.
Mm-hmm.
The only confusion at the time that I didn't enjoy too much was the fact that a lot of people believed that the line was written by Raphael Ravenscroft, the sax player, but it was my line. I sang it to him. I don't know how you sing it. And then in 2011, there was an original electric guitar demo version of the song as a bonus track on the remastered version of City to City, confirming Rafferty's authorship of the riff, which appears in the demo note for note as an electric guitar solo.
Wow.
Take that, Mr. Ravenscroft, wherever you are.
Ravenscroft.
Oh, unfortunately,
Yes.
he passed away in 2014.
He's not going to take
Jerry Rafferty passed away in 2011.
Okay, yeah.
Now, there's a lot about this song.
Well, it was on the radio a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
I still love hearing this song.
Yeah.
I love any saxophone. I love saxophone. I don't know. I love sax. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Urban myths. According to one story, Ravenscroft received no payment for a song that earned an income of 80,000, I think it's lire, per annum, which would be, get this, $100,000 per year.
Wow.
Now, the song's played that much, and I have here even more than Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer.
I'm not afraid of a punch.
What?
I'm not afraid of a punch.
Where'd he? Bon Jovi, are you here?
Bon John Bovey.
A session fee check for 27 lire. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what that, but that's probably $30. in
Wow.
American dollars.
Wow.
Given to Ravenscroft, was said to have bounced, and it was framed and hung on his solicitor's wall. Solicitor, I haven't heard that word in a long time.
Solicitor.
You think like 1800s.
Yes.
And the bouncing check story was denied by Ravenscroft. I think we should believe him.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that song was played over and over again in the summer of that year. Is it 79? Yeah, that year. I remember being off from school in the summer. And
That's the one song I know of the year.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. So, yeah, I remember a lot of airplay, but I did not get tired of it. I almost got tired of it because it was played so much on WEEX, AM radio, 1230.
You know, it's a cool sounding song, and I know you're going to do your number 4, but it kind of goes into my number 4.
Well, hit it
as
then.
the same kind of
Go
style.
ahead, we'll go back and forth.
Which is Al Stewart, who is so overlooked. I love Al Stewart. Time Passages.
Mm-hmm.
Not Year of the Cat.
Yeah, which I loved. I had the Year of the Cat, my sister's album, and loved it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 1978.
Yeah.
I'm 12 years old. Now this is number 31 on the top 50.
Mm-hmm.
As I delivered newspapers, imagine.
Yes.
One early evening back in the fall of 1978, I heard music coming from the back kitchen door of one of my customers, on my route. And it was Al Stewart's Time Passages. Now, I think I had heard the song before, but I remember this memory so clear.
Yeah.
It was, people aren't going to know the area. So this was in Phillipsburg, of course.
Yeah.
But I could get in my car and drive you probably to this house.
Oh, yeah.
That's how, yeah.
Well, you're delivering papers, so,
Yeah.
I mean, you know it well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I found this song so soothing. So soothing, I quit the newspaper business and I went into the
You're killing me now.
gas pumping business.
That'll do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
But as a 12-year-old newspaper boy, the song transported me to a new land, far away from Phillipsburg.
Yes.
Now, there's not much on this song that I found, and it was produced by Alan Parsons.
Okay.
The single reached number 7 on Billboard 100, and Billboard also ranked Time Passages as the number 1 adult contemporary single of 1979.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. Buy me a ticket on the last train home tonight. That's just a great line.
Yeah. Again, the escapism, going somewhere else, getting away is a big theme. Yeah.
Well, like I said, with number 5, this is, I even have that. We are escaping something. It's less lyrically complex than a typical Al Stewart composition. Year of the Cat exemplified his usual style. The album was written with the intent of the tracks having hit single potentials. And the other song was Song on the Radio, which was also on this album. I have a CD box set of his first 3 albums, I think.
Uh-huh.
So this was early stuff by Al Stewart. My one regret is that there's a theater which I mentioned before, Sellersville.
Yeah.
Sellersville, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote to them, I emailed them and suggested they get Al Stewart. And not too much later, Al Stewart was playing there, and I didn't go. Why didn't I go? Maybe something else was.
Maybe you asked me, and I said, nah.
Now, it also describes a singer planning a trip home in late December, presumably for Christmas. It was late in December. The sky turned to snow. All around the day was going down slow. Night like a river beginning to flow. I felt the beat of my mind go, drifting into Time Passages. So mainly about a guy going home to visit his family. Time moving along too fast. I don't know. That's what I wrote here. But
yeah.
love that song. So what's your number 4?
Yeah, so number 4, I have a song by America, the band.
It better not be A Horse with No Name.
No, it's not.
Okay.
That was on a compilation that I had of superstars of the 70s, and I like this song more. And this song I never really knew the meaning behind very much, but it's Sister Golden Hair.
Okay.
Yeah. It's from their 5th album, Hearts. It's written by Jerry Beckley, and it was their 2nd single to reach number 1. It kept that position for 1 week. So Sister Golden Hair. The lyrics were inspired by the works of Jackson Browne. Now, see, this is new to me. I didn't know that. So America toured with Jackson Browne and were inspired by him. I thought that was very interesting. He said that Jackson Browne had a knack or an ability to put words to music, and they talk about the LA approach. So a lot of this again, the LA, the Southern Cal, the SoCal that we're talking about. The writer, Jerry Beckley, says, I find Jackson can depress me a little bit, but only through his honesty. And it was that style of his which led to a song of mine, Sister Golden Hair. So what we have in this song is lyrics that are a bit depressing. You know, I tried to make it Sunday, but I got so damn depressed that I set my sights on Monday and I got myself undressed.
That is,
I mean, like,
that's a great lyric.
I'm not ready for the altar. So it's like, wow, it's like, so depressing lyrics, honestly, but smooth, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, you know, upbeat tempo.
I do like Jackson Browne.
Yeah. And again, other lyrics, each chorus ends with, I tried to fake it, I don't mind saying, I just can't make it. Now, this was long before the days of people talking about their depression, talking about their anxiety. When you and I were growing up, nobody talked about their depression.
No.
You know, what are you, an effing wimp? I mean, you can't take it? You can't take it? You know, watch this. You know, so this is talking about it, but with a lot, very upbeat. Jerry said about the song, similar combinations of the 12-string mixed with a slide guitar. He was inspired by My Sweet Lord by George Harrison. And I thought that was interesting.
Which George stole from another song.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
He's So Fine. He got sued for that.
Okay, wow. Yeah. Well, they're stealing it again. Yeah. But what you have is the strumming of the acoustic, and then you have the slide, you know, back and forth, you know, so it's just bringing them together. Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys was there backstage one of the times they were playing this, and Brian Wilson came up and hugged him or patted his shoulder and said, "You crushed it." Yeah. You know?
That's just a great. Yeah. Even though it's about being depressed, it's a good lyrically smooth. Just
I didn't know before today, before this last week, that it was inspired by Jackson Browne and such. So no, A Horse with No Name did not make it. Did not make it. Let me just jump right to number 3.
Okay.
You might have some by this band. I don't know, the Eagles.
No.
Okay.
I do like the Eagles.
Yes, you do. And this is a very unique song by the Eagles, and it's I Can't Tell You Why.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a slow song. Again, it's smooth, you know, it's just wonderfully smooth. But this is one of the few songs written and sung by the bassist. And you know this, Timothy B. Schmidt. So Timothy Schmidt, he came up with the arrangements, came up with the lyrics, and talked to Glenn Frey and Don Henley, presented it to them. They recorded it in March of 1978. It was the first song that was finished for the album. I believe it was The Long Run. Yeah. So interesting that they got that one in, all done, and then they wrote the others. It hit number 8 on the Billboard Top 100. I actually don't remember this song being overplayed. I don't know why, but I like the song more now than ever. It was just another song back then. They presented it to Glenn Frey and Don Henley, and Henley said he would like to, when they were working on it, he said, I'd like the finished song to be, quote, straight Al Green, and just really just soulful and smooth. So I thought that was pretty cool. When Timothy Schmidt, when it was done, the author of the song said, when it was being developed in the studio, I knew it was a great song. I thought, yes, this is an amazing debut for me, end quote. So yeah, just a really good positive feel all around while that was being done. Now also, along with that song, we had, in 1980, the band promoted the song with a music video featuring Schmidt on bass guitar and, of course, singing. Frey was on electric piano with Don Henley on drums. Don Felder was the electric guitar, and Joe Walsh was on the organ. So that was interesting, bring that together for 1980 video. So there's my number 3.
Okay. Now, my number 3, I've liked this song for a long time, and it's a fun, upbeat kind of song, and it's a guy that maybe a lot of people have never heard of, Elvin Bishop, and it's Fooled Around and Fell in Love.
Yes.
Number 9 on the top 50, Yacht Rock's from 1975. Like I said, I love this since I first heard it back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And it wasn't on my paper route, but probably radio stations, WEEX,
1230,
WEST, which I don't even know if either one of those still exist.
Yeah.
They played all the hits. So back in 75, I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
I really didn't know what fooling around was.
Mm-hmm.
Probably until my late 30s.
We knew that's
yeah.
what adults did. They fooled around and fell in love. Yeah.
So the song starts out strong. You kind of know what you're getting into with the first verse, which is, I must have been through a million girls. I'd love them and leave them alone.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care much. They cried, no, sir. Their tears left me cold as stone.
Harsh.
So you think it's a happy song.
Harsh. Like a Me Too movement for guys. If guys had a Me Too movement, Me Too.
Yeah. So right away you think this guy's a stud.
Yeah.
In my late teens, this was kind of my anthem, but my lyrics were, I must have been through a couple of girls. Anyway, enough about me.
Yeah.
They say he's a blues guitarist. I don't know much about Elvin Bishop. The one thing that I really didn't know until I did research for the podcast is that he's not singing the song.
Oh.
And who is singing this song?
Peter Frampton.
No. But he was in a famous band.
Yeah.
From the 70s.
Yeah.
You're not going to guess.
Okay.
His name's Mickey Thomas.
Uh-huh.
Mickey was in Jefferson Starship.
Wow.
And Starship. And the Jefferson... No, he wasn't on the Jefferson. Sorry. And it appeared on Elvin's 1975 album, Strutting My Stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check this album out.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah. And as I said, he did not sing lead vocals. He felt that his gravelly voice... Now, I want to hear his voice now, because this is such a smooth voice on this song. His gravelly voice would not do the song justice. He invited vocalist Mickey Thomas, who was a background singer in his band at the time, to sing it.
Yeah, it's a smooth yet higher range.
Yeah.
It's a high voice singing the song, right.
And I don't know if it's Mickey Thomas who sings We Built This City. It might be the same guy.
I could hear that.
Yeah. So it peaked at number 3 on Billboard 100.
We're talking some really high stuff here. Like 1, 4, 3. This is really high.
Yeah.
8.
So based on his work with Bishop, Thomas was invited to become the lead singer for Jefferson Starship. I guess he sang other songs too, because I think we had talked about, we might have talked privately, I'm not sure, I can't remember now, Kenny Wayne Shepherd not singing his own songs.
Right.
You know, he's a blues guitarist, so where John Bonamassa, I thought he wasn't singing and he is singing. So anyway, this was a blues guitarist who brought in someone else to sing, his song. Now the song is so popular, it was in Boogie Nights, Summer of Sam, Big Daddy, Devil's Rejects, Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay, which I haven't seen, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wow.
In their 1990 essay, Rock and Sexuality, Simon Frith and Angela McRobbie suggest the song lyrically captures the distinction in rock music between, this is a new term.
Oh, yes?
Cock rock and teeny bop.
Cock rock.
I would say they're far removed. Cock rock, teeny bop.
Uh-huh.
And at some point, I'm thinking we may do a podcast on cock rock.
Uh-huh.
I've never heard the term. That's pretty freaking funny.
To bring some equity, should it be called crotch rock?
Crotch rock.
Yeah, because I mean, you're just talking about the guys. If
we
it's
could call it
rock.
crotch rock.
Yeah.
If we decide to do a podcast, be like other sexual songs.
Yes, yeah. Very sexual.
Yeah. So that was my number 3.
Yeah. All right. So I'm on number 2, and somebody I just mentioned recently here, and that is Jackson Browne, Doctor My Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a 1972 song. It was included in his debut album. And this goes back older than the other ones so far. It's 72, so I thought that was kind of interesting. It was a surprise hit to a lot of people, and it reached number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. He wouldn't see a top 10 again for 10 more years. So 10 years later, he got another top 10 with Running on Empty.
Oh, I was going to say Lawyers in Love.
Yeah, Running on Empty. We know that one.
I like Lawyers. Do you remember that one?
No.
Lawyers in Love?
It
was such an odd...
No, I'm going to look that one up.
Jackson Browne, yeah.
Jackson Browne, Lawyers in Love. Yeah. So his hits, though, were Dr. My Eyes. And so I've always liked this song. As a percussionist myself, I'm realizing that it starts out with congas or some hand drums. Boom, da, da, boom, boom, and kicks in with a lot of all the other instruments. Jesse Ed Davis plays electric guitar, while David Crosby and Graham Nash are singing backing vocals on Dr.
There we go. Wow.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
That really brings it together.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Jackson Browne, I did not know, played with a Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Okay.
In L.A. And was part of the Velvet Underground in New York City.
What?
It says here, yeah. I couldn't believe it. I read that somewhere other than the source that's in my hand right now.
Someone probably added that to Wikipedia. Like someone added no good music, in someone's Wikipedia.
Let's make it public image limited. No, let's make it the Velvet Underground. So we'll have to check on that one again. Like one of my previous songs, you've got lyrics that are introspective and possibly a little challenging or depressing, but you put it with music that's upbeat. And this is another case for that. It says, Dr. My Eyes was the statement of a man who had stoically endured life's hardships, but having done so is now worried that he might be rendered unable to feel anything. Pretty deep. Yeah. So what we don't have is a light theme that's been going on here. But,
that's the dark yacht.
Yeah, I think this is dark yacht.
Yeah.
But the man is on his yacht, and he's really, really thinking about a lot. This is interesting. I never knew this.
I thought it was about a guy walking down the street and got splashed with acid in his eyes. Dr. My Eyes.
Yeah. No, it's not about that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little more allegorical. There was originally a third verse to the song, but it was retained, I guess that means held back, when Brown recorded the song for the debut album. The lost verse, it says, can be found on bootlegs and the original demo of the song. Interesting, bringing Graham Nash and David Crosby's harmonies, it says, to bring it an emotional edge. Yeah, so that is my number 2.
So I don't know if you know this, but the only concert that I ever won tickets to by calling into a radio show was for Jackson Browne.
No, I never knew that.
And I think it was at Stabler Arena, which was, a small place.
So you've seen Jackson Browne, or did you miss it?
No, I did, but I don't remember much
that
about
is interesting.
I forget who I brought with me.
Yeah. Do you know the only tickets that I won on by calling in a radio station?
No.
Freemansburg Hill Climb. Dirt bike hill climb. It was not a show.
It was not Jackson Browne.
It was not Jackson Browne.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are half our age or something, radio stations would, they were live. They were working live, and you're listening to the person live. Nothing's pre-recorded.
Yeah.
You don't just choose to listen to this or that.
And they pick a number.
Yeah. So they'd say, ninth caller. I guess they would actually hit and engage the phone and hang up, like on off. To get rid of caller number 1.
I think they pick it up and you go hello, and then they hang it up.
Yeah, just engage it. It's 1.
Yeah.
So they say ninth caller. You got 2 free tickets to Jackson Browne at Stabler Arena, and you'd have. I remember you would think to yourself, wait, I can't call right now, because I'll be caller number 2 or 3, and you wait those seconds, right? Like I'm gonna call now. So. Excellent. All right, that's my number 2. What do you got?
And then there was radio stations that would just call you out of the blue, where you could win albums.
That's right. That's right. 10 free albums. I heard that. I heard that happened once.
We cannot give away our secrets of our youth.
I heard that happen once in the Lehigh Valley.
Yeah.
But you know what the amazing part about that is? It only happened once.
Yeah.
You got your number 2 album?
Now here's a number 2 song. Which this is another song that I've loved since it came out. This song is off the first album I ever bought, and it's from 1978. And it's Yvonne Elliman, if I say that right, Elliman, If I Can't Have You. And it's not on the Yacht Rock Top 50, but it is. I did double check. It is considered a Yacht Rock song.
If I Can't Have You, I Don't Want Nobody, Baby.
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
All right.
It was written by the Bee Gees, and I actually have Saturday Night Fever on Blu-ray that I watched a couple years ago, and I was thinking, nobody that's 12 years old should be watching this movie.
Yeah.
Back when I was 12,
yes,
I had a crush on my neighbor. Lived 2 doors down from me, and she had a cousin. Fortunately, I don't remember her name.
Good, because we don't have to say it. That's good.
Yeah.
You could make it up, like Melanie or something.
Now, did she turn into a kissing cousin? No.
No.
Unfortunately. I would crawl back to my house, defeated, put on my Olivia Newton-John albums and cry into my pillow.
Olivia would comfort you.
This particular summer, it was summer, and not to sound too pervy, but I remember what she was wearing.
Guys do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the first, let me just say, it was the first halter top I had ever seen a girl wear.
Yes.
I've gotten past it all, but this song does represent a time of innocence for me. I probably felt, if I can't have you, I don't want nobody, baby.
Mm-hmm.
At 12. I didn't even know what the hell that meant. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. I love the chorus.
If she's listening and remembers, don't contact me because my wife, I'm married. So back off. Yeah. But I was no John Travolta, like in the movie Grease.
Right.
Where he's singing Summer Lovin'. Yeah. That didn't happen, You
still wanted to be part of the action.
Yeah.
Though. I mean, you wanted a piece of the action.
Yeah. This song is considered also a disco song, but it's also considered yacht rock.
Yeah. It could be disco, but yeah.
Weirdly enough, the Bee Gees' own version appeared a month later as a B-side of Stayin' Alive, but I've never heard this version. I don't want to hear it.
It'll ruin it for you.
It will.
It'll ruin it all for you.
Yeah. And the song later appeared on the Bee Gees compilation, Greatest Hits, the record. Mm-hmm. So it says, although Yvonne Elliman had cut her 1976 album Love Me with producer Freddie Perran, major force in the disco movement, Perran had produced the Silvers with a Y, 1976 #1 Boogie Fever, and would soon collaborate with Gloria Gaynor on the disco anthem I Will Survive.
Yeah.
So it was originally intended that Elliman's contribution to the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack would be another ballad written by the Gibb brothers, How Deep Is My Love, which I'm pretty sure they sang, How Deep Is My Love. She was supposed to sing that song.
Oh,
sounds
wow.
like.
Yeah, the Bee Gees did that well.
Yeah.
How Deep Is My Love, yeah.
Now, the first single off Saturday Night Fever, not performed by the Bee Gees, If I Can't Have You, would become the fourth #1 hit from the album.
Oh, wow.
Reached a #1 spot May 13th, 1978, ending a 8-week #1 tenure by Night Fever. Far from the success going to Elliman's head or giving her ideas of following up the sudden disco success with a deeper foray into the genre, a contemporary interview by journalist Peter J. Boyer found Elliman dismissive of her #1 hit, referring to it in conversation only casually as that current thing from Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah. Wow.
And her song was featured in the film Big Daddy. I think we mentioned another song on my list. That song, whenever I hear it, certain songs take you back.
Right.
And hopefully it's a good place, it takes you back to. So Yeah. So that's my #2.
That's your #2.
Yeah.
All right. I've got my #1 right here. It was hard for me to choose which song from this band I wanted to put on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I needed to.
Can I guess the band?
Yeah, I'm going to let you. I had
Before you say it.
I know. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Steely Dan.
You got it. Hit that button. Hit that button up there. You got it.
We got a winner. We got a winner.
Yeah. So, you know it, and it was really hard because I listen. I hear this one song, and it's like, oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I hear another Steely Dan, I'm like, oh, that's great. Yeah.
I like Steely Dan
too.
Yeah.
So I chose Deacon Blues.
Yes.
It's written by Walter Becker and Donald Fagen in 1976.
Mm-hmm.
So I am 10 years old. I have enjoyed their music so much more. Actually, I listened to the Asia album over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
In the late 80s, in my Mazda RX-7, that Asia cassette wouldn't leave. And it's part of that car. It's probably still in the car. So anyway, Deacon Blues, it peaked at number 19 on the Billboard 117 on another chart. It's easy listening charts, adult contemporary charts, all that. Donald Fagen says of the song, the concept of the expanding man that opens the song may have been inspired by Alfred Bester's The Demolished Man. Walter and I were major sci-fi fans, and the guy in the song imagines himself ascending to the levels of evolution, quote, expanding, end quote, his mind and spiritual possibilities.
The expanding man, I think. Don't they say in that
They
song?
say the expanding man.
Yeah, far out.
Yeah. Donald Fagen says, quote, one day I was sitting in my apartment and I heard Spyro Gyra album. And he didn't know
I
what...
haven't heard that name.
I know, Spyro Gyra.
Yeah.
He hears Spyro Gyra. He doesn't even know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, stuff's good. So he found out what that was, but he's inspired by Spyro Gyra. I thought that was amazing. The song was largely written at Fagen's house in Malibu. He was prompted by this observation. Quote, if college football can have a team name like the University of Alabama, grandiose name like the Crimson Tide.
Oh, yeah, Crimson Tide.
Yeah. Then Nerds and Losers should be entitled to a grandiose name as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's I mean, I wouldn't have thought of that. Like Nerds and Losers, like, you know, the guys that,
Oh, yeah.
if I can't have you, you know.
There should be a name for losers in this world. That's in the song.
There should be a name for losers in this world.
I didn't realize Crimson Tide he was actually talking about.
He is talking about Alabama.
Because Steely Dan was on another level for me.
They are.
I didn't know much about them. I knew there were mainly two guys, but I could see them as professors or something like that.
Yeah.
And
they're intellectualizing a lot of this.
So when they say something like a common thing, I don't think it's a common. I think they're talking about something else, like Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think they're talking about a football team.
Yeah. Alabama, University of Alabama.
Yeah, like regular, normal.
Yeah, right. I don't know if I mentioned the year. I did, 76, yes. Musically, I don't know about this. I'm not a music major, but there's a chord progression called the mu, M-U.
Okay.
The mu major chord progression, and it involves that. So those of you who are studied in music, unlike me, would know about the mu major. I've always wondered about the origin of the title, Deacon. Okay.
Yeah.
Here it is. I've waited this long. The origin of the song's name, says Fagen, was inspired by football player Deacon Jones.
Oh.
And he liked his name. Yeah.
Okay.
Quote, it had 2 syllables and it was convenient, like crimson.
Yeah,
end quote.
Nice.
The song is ultimately about really being an ultimate outsider, the flip side of the dream boyo.
Dream boyo.
Boyo.
Yeah.
Call me Deacon Blues. So he just obviously likes blues, the blues feel, jazz, and liked the name Deacon from a football player. So he got 2 football references in that song.
Huh.
See, interesting. Talks about who was playing on the song, that it is from the Asia album. Asia, by the way, is spelled for our listeners A-J-A.
Yeah.
Haven't got to the root of that yet.
Not A-S-I-A.
Yeah. After the song was recorded, Becker and Fagen decided to...
Not to be confused with Heat of the Moment, Asia.
Yes. which we will probably never say again on this podcast. All right, so after it was recorded, Becker and Fagen said, let's add a saxophone solo. Now, they're known for doing this. I was reading about some other... They got... like when they did Peg, they got this whole song and then they said, we need this. And then they'll go looking for someone to do a guitar solo on whatever song and find him and put it together and say, that's it, So anyway, this is the case again. They asked producer Gary Katz to arrange for Pete Kreislieb to record the part. At the time, they didn't know his name, but he knew his reputation as a musician on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show.
Oh, okay.
So he went to the studio and recorded it. Kreislieb says, quote, they told me to play what I felt. I play just what I feel. Got it? Hey, I'm a jazz musician. That's what I do. So I recorded my first solo. We listened to it, and they said that was great. I recorded a second take, and that's what they used. I was gone in a half hour.
Nice.
Yeah. Next thing I know...
And you got paid $10.
I don't know. Next thing I know, I'm hearing myself in every airport bathroom in the world.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Deacon Blues is released in 1977 on the Asia album, which the album reached number 3 on Billboard's album chart and held it for 7 consecutive weeks.
Wow.
It was at number 3.
I wonder if people knew who they were before that album. Like, is that the album that...
I don't know.
Propelled it? Because
I don't know.
For that guy that played on the album... Steely Dan, okay, yeah, it's a job. And then, hearing yourself, in the airport bathroom or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a band that wasn't that well known.
Yeah. For me, Steely Dan, at the time, I was listening to Aerosmith in Boston and then Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Steely Dan was not on my radar. And then the Asia album, I'm listening to 10 years late. I'm listening 10, 12 years late. I'm listening to Asia.
Yeah.
And now, when I go to my brother's house in Easton, we're listening to Steely Dan all the time.
Yeah, I have that on vinyl.
Yeah. Last thing about this album is there's 10 people. 10 people are credited with vocals and bass and guitar and sax. And I just got to tell you that...
Is Christopher Cross on that one?
No, he's not. It doesn't come full circle to the S word. You're gonna get me to say the S word before the night's up.
Yeah.
Bernard Pretty Purdy.
Oh.
Pretty Purdy was on drums.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty Purdy. Did not
Big
know
fan.
that. Did not know that. But I got to tell you who was some of the first name of some of these backup.
Glasscock?
There is not a Glasscock.
Okay.
But the three women singing backup is Vanetta, Clyde, and Shirley.
They just have first names?
No, I'm just giving you the first one. Because I just thought Vanetta and Clyde and Shirley were pretty good.
Kathy Westmoreland.
So, hey,
She
that's
was big back in the 70s.
That's my number one.
Kathy Westmoreland. Kathy Westmoreland? Okay.
Hey, Rob, great job guessing Steely Dan for me.
Yeah.
You're number one. Or are you a number two?
Mine aren't as intricate as yours. And, like these top-notch bands. My number one.
Disco.
No, Disco Duck's not allowed. Never mind. That's.
Another song I've always liked is "Don't Give Up on Us" by
Tearjerker.
David Soul.
Tearjerker.
Not your average singer because he was more a TV person. His only hit, 1977. So this song goes back to when I was 11-year-old youngster trying to find my way through the clutter of disco and the Bee Gees.
Yes.
Right before Three's Company took over my life. Yes, my parents could care less what I listened to or watched, and I'm proud to say that's why I am the way I am today. But the song, I soon found a man that I could believe in who would not give up on a blossoming relationship with his lady friend.
A man with soul.
Yeah. At 11, I had yet to make the acquaintance of a lady friend, but as you heard with the last song, I was trying my best. So Don't Give Up on Us. It was written by Tony McCauley, who wrote Baby Now That I've Found You, Build Me Up Buttercup. We know that one, right? He wrote this song. Love Grows Where My Rosemary Goes. He also wrote that. He also wrote Here Comes That Rainy Day Feeling Again.
Oh, yeah. No, that one.
Yeah. So riding high on the success of his role in the hit TV show Starsky and Hutch, which I watched. I was a big fan of that show. So he returned to singing, which had been one of his early career choices. And his debut, the Tony McCullough written and produced song, was a worldwide smash, spending 4 weeks at number one on the UK singles chart, and a single week at number one on the Billboard Hot 100.
Number one.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
In April 77. In addition, the song spent 1 week at number one on the US Adult Contemporary. It sold 1.16 million copies in the US. In the UK, sorry. The B-side was not such a hit. Black Bean Soup. Who doesn't like black bean soup?
Yeah.
That was lyrics by actor Gardner McKay and was a duet with actress Lynn Marta, which David Soul was involved with at the time. So there we go.
That means they were actors with benefits, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't Give Up on Us was rated number 93 in VH1's 100 Greatest One-Hit Wonders because despite having more hits in the UK, David Soul was never again able to reach the top 40 in the US.
Well, yeah, he's David Soul. Yeah.
Now, he recorded a new version of the song in 2004, allegedly after being embarrassed when hearing it by chance in an elevator, as sung by Owen Wilson in the film version of Starsky and Hutch.
Really? You can't make that stuff up.
Yeah.
You know?
So it sounds like he wasn't embarrassed by his song, but Owen Wilson's version, and like maybe I should re-record it.
I wonder why he would be embarrassed someone else is doing it.
And David Soul, unfortunately passed away recently. I did get to meet David Soul.
Yeah.
I should have talked to him about the song.
Yeah.
he signed a magazine for me, which featured Salem's Lot movie.
Yeah.
So I did get that.
Wow.
So that's my number one, David Soul.
All right.
Check it out if you haven't heard.
Before we get to honorable mentions, I'll do my 5 in a row. I did not guess any of your top 5.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Just wait. But listen up.
Well, tell me who.
I thought you were going to do REO Speedwagon.
Okay.
It's on Apple Music Yacht Rock. So once I heard it, I said, "Oh, Rob loves that stuff." Steely Dan, Doobie Brothers, Dan Fogelberg and the Eagles. I missed it. I don't know my friend Rob. I must not even know. Who are you?
If we did a 10.
Who are you?
Okay, if we did a 10, I'd say Dan Fogelberg would probably... Same Old Lang Syne. I freaking love that song. The one that I should have put in the top 5 is actually the Pina Colada song.
Yeah. You could have done that,
Yeah. So my guesses were Al Stewart. I really thought you'd have a Toto song.
No, Toto's not me. Al Stewart, though, could have been.
Michael McDonald.
No.
Rupert Holmes. And the other one is Steely Dan.
And you got Steely Dan.
Yeah.
So you won 1 point to 0.
Yeah. Thank you.
Honorable mentions.
Yes.
You ready? I'm not going to talk about them much.
Okay. Well, you can just go through.
Reminiscing by the Little River Band.
Yes.
Do you know that I didn't even know it was a Little River Band? It's like, who knows? Who cares?
I don't think I did too until I looked it up.
Yeah. Reminiscing is so 70s. I mean, it's so. Friday night, it was late. I was walking down to the gate. I was dreaming of the night.
I think I almost put that in my top 5. It's just a nice.
And the percussion is great too.
I mean, that's a song in the summer when you sit outside on the patio.
I want to tell you, girl, I want to build my world around you. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Next one is Make It With You by Bread. I want to make it with you.
Yeah.
Yes. It better not be on the worst ever. That better not be on your worst list.
I don't think it is.
Okay. Baker Street. I got Baker Street in there.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah. Do you want to know what it reminds me of? Me and the neighbors playing Monopoly day after day in the summertime. Baker Street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You put no towels on there. Next one.
Mm-hmm.
Boz Scaggs, Lido Shuffle.
Yeah, I like Boz Scaggs.
Yeah. And love the Lido Shuffle. And the other one. Oh, wait. I was going to change it.
When we were in Africa, if people paid attention, we were trying to get money, and they were looking for people to do the Lido Shuffle.
What's the other hit by Boz Scaggs? I was going to put that in there.
Lowdown.
Dirty Lowdown.
Yeah.
I'm going to replace Dirty Lowdown in there on Lido
I have
Shuffle.
A couple of his albums, I think. I just always liked.
Yeah, I was listening to the various. And the last one is not a song, it's Any Other Steely Dan. Babylon's Sister, My Old School, Reel in the Years, Peg. I almost put Peg up in the top 5.
No Hey 19.
Yeah, that too. All of them. Love it.
Ricky, don't lose this number.
That's just not right.
That one I don't think I can listen to.
No. So I want to hear your honorable mentions.
Okay. I have 3. Lonely Boy.
Oh.
It's such a weird...
Oh, what a lonely boy.
And it's such an odd... It's Andrew Gold.
Okay.
It was number 14 on the top 50, 76.
That could only make it in the 70s. You know that song could not be popular any other time. Only in the 70s.
And it actually reminds me of Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Like, there's a piano part in there that sounds like Billy the Kid. From Billy Joel, that song... Billy the Kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, it's a song about a kid who grew up, he thought he was the only child, and then he has a sister, and it's just such a, it's so strange, but it's...
Tugging on the emotions in the 70s.
Yeah.
Just tugging on them, yeah.
And then Dave Mason, We Just Disagree. I just love this song.
Yeah. Here's a little Dave Mason.
It's just a feel-good, sad song.
We just disagree.
The harmonies. It reminds me of like Boston, like a Boston song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Let's see. I'd really like to see you tonight. England Dan and John Ford Coley.
Yeah.
Brandy, You're a Fine Girl. I still love this song. Looking Glass, 1972.
I wouldn't have even been able to tell you it was done by Looking Glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there's a bit of a rumor, and I'm trying to actually track down, believe it or not, the lead singer.
Oh.
Because there's a rumor that this song was written in Glen Gardner, New Jersey, which is a tiny little offshoot of like Hampton, Clinton, like right down the street from us.
Again, the epicenter of the most recent earthquake.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They were living in a barn, supposedly in Glengarry. I don't know how they story it, but maybe it's true.
Yeah.
And that's where they wrote the song. Yeah. And also the little thing on this is that the song became so popular so fast that Barry Manilow, who was working on music, had to change his song Mandy. Mandy was not Mandy. It was Brandy.
Wow.
And he had to change it he felt he had to change it to Mandy.
Yeah.
Because this is Brandy.
It's the same time, yeah.
You Are a Fine Girl. Now I have some worse songs that I...
Yeah, so this is ones that you don't appreciate anymore or you never appreciated.
Now the first one I think Matt and I will agree on is Dreamweaver.
Oh, yeah.
Gary Wright.
I just closed my eyes again. Yeah.
I don't want to ride on that Dreamweaver Express. Yeah. I don't know where it's going.
Yeah, Gravy Train. Yeah. Dreamweaver Gravy Train.
The song Africa by Toto.
Yeah, yeah.
Just overplayed, and I think Weezer ruined the song because it was
played over.
Yeah.
And also because Weezer did such a great job of covering that song, it sounded a lot like it, and it's like hearing it all over again. I totally agree with you.
And I think for us, it was hearing that song a long time ago, and we had enough. Maybe once in a while, it was good to hear it again.
Yeah,
but now all of a sudden we're hearing it again.
I totally agree with you. Totally.
Dreams, Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
I said it's so overplayed. I want to dig my eyes out when I hear it now. You put on the radio.
But you like Fleetwood Mac, generally. Yeah. Okay. But no, Dreams. Yeah.
Minute by Minute, Doobie Brothers. Whenever I hear this song, I count the minutes by minutes until it's over. Just awful.
Yeah. I keep holding on. He keeps holding on. Yeah. Minute by minute. He keeps holding on.
Ride Like the Wind. I want to take a long ride off a cliff when I hear this song. So there you go.
Yes. Ones that are not appreciated. Not very appreciated.
There's a take on Yacht Rock.
Yeah. And we must investigate Yacht Rock.
Yeah.
Yacht Rock.
Yeah. That podcast.
Yeah.
Yacht or Yacht.
Yacht.
And
what is Yacht?
So thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
We really appreciate all our listeners. And again, if you want to email us, tell us how we're doing, have any suggestions, any ideas on if you want us to do a podcast on a certain band or subject. No Good Music, that's with a K. No Good Music Podcast at gmail.com.
We hope that you do No Good Music.
Yes. So as always, make sure you turn off the TV.
And turn up the music.
You've been listening to No Good Music, intro and exit music by the band 99%. Today's show is produced and edited by Rob J. Lilly and recorded at the Did You Say 7 Studios in Washington, New Jersey. You can find No Good Music on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Pandora, and almost anywhere you listen to podcasts.